The teacher's desk in the corner.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Special spot.
Okay. Hi, Lynn. Ron Spears. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I'm Karen Moore, and you're
Karen, as I recognize it, Rob Spears, New Life Center. Yeah.
Well, very nice. Do we get your paper copy?
Get out of the way here, I guess.
Would you like to?
Oh, I might
Take them over.
Yes. I think a lot of us didn't. Hi there.
Hi there.
I think. How are you?
Good. Were you on the also on the commission of the of chief turns? Were you on that commission too? No. Okay.
I just look like everybody's aunt, so yeah.
Okay.
No, it wasn't me.
Okay.
I'm
That's
gonna.
one of my higher viewed videos in town.
Well, I can't. Do you want to when you have a second? Sure. All right. Is it full in here?
You might be overheating in here, so I was about to.
Yeah. Okay, what did you tell me? You want a coffee cup? Yeah.
Oh, is this it?
Okay,
I was
so
like,
seeing
I see it shift, but
yes.
okay.
Oh,
Totally
yeah.
fine. You just, you're on.
It's very good. It's Bryce's. Shoulders far out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's good. Yeah,
But you got through it, huh?
I did, yeah, you're right. It's just a very easy,
Yeah.
quick
Did
read.
you want me to read it?
Yeah. Okay, well, if Ken comes, he can kind of jump in and join us. Are you ready to rock and roll?
Yep.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. I know some of us anyway didn't get the packets, but Sarah did pass, or not, emailed the minutes. So hopefully you had a chance to look at that if you didn't get the packet. Do you have a, are you still looking through? Anybody want to make a motion to approve? Well, while they're still kind of looking through that, let's maybe go around and make introductions here. Just because it's always nice to. I'll start, I'm Karen Moore, Chair.
I'm Sarah Jerome, Human Resource Manager.
And then Funding Design Executive Director.
Jill Elliott, Deputy Director.
Scott Nesky, Finance Manager.
Steve Wykoff, Capital Improvements Coordinator.
Michael Lear, I'm a commissioner.
Tana Horsley, Commissioner.
Thomas Jefferson, Commissioner.
Bryce Johnson, Commissioner.
Mark Nelson, citizen, socialist.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Katie, Fargo Housing, Scattered Sites, Public Housing.
Kayla, Assistant Project Manager, High Rise.
And Rob Spears with the New Life Center.
Well, welcome to all. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So motion, so moved.
Okay, is there a second? Second. Are there any questions, comments, additions, deletions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Do we want to rearrange the agenda and have you do your thing first? Would you?
Sure, that would be.
If that would work, that would be great. In our old business, we had medical respite and pilot for the homeless partnership that I was going to give. And then Rob was going to be our guest as our partner, okay, and speak, so.
Do you maybe want to kind of give that quick thing and then we'll go into you? All right, that would be great.
Yep. So, just an update on two of our programs that we're doing with the homeless. And our great partner in both programs is the New Life Center, along with all of the other shelters. But we pulled a lot of folks through the VI-SPDAT with New Life. But the first one is the medical respite program, and I did include that in your packet. It's probably the one colored paper you have. Rob's facility has 6 beds, and I think now, Rob, you probably have 3 more. This is for homeless medical respite. This was something that we have worked on for, oh gosh, probably 3 or 4 years, meeting every single month, sometimes every week, with a group of many agencies in Fargo and Moorhead. It is finally off the ground. Men go to New Life Center, and women go to New Horizons Manor. This is the one that we worked with Maren Trokman and all of the powers at HUD, and Heidi Heitkamp helped us to have that temporary lease where someone, we have an addendum to go from the hospital. They are VI-SPDATed in the hospital. They go to New Horizons or to New Life Center. There is a full-time nurse at New Life Center, or not full-time, part-time. She's canvassing for full-time. But, because we need her. We have a respite coordinator through Community Living Services that we have contracted through a Sanford grant.
Does the nurse go to New Horizons as well and take care of, okay.
Yeah, Amy, yeah, wonderful nurse. And then we just have gotten our CLS contract signed with Money Follows the Person. They are paying for that spot. Quite a few community agencies that have donated to it. And then the Housing Authority has pledged that we will try to house people permanently after they get through the homeless respite. So someone whose lease addendum was started at New Horizons, maybe it would be 45 days, that's what we thought would be the lease for medical respite, then would transfer to the high-rise, to the grave, or wherever, most likely the high-rise, and just continue that lease on. Rob's group then with the men, when they graduate out of medical respite, they would go through the VI-SPDAT because they'd be very high, and that's the first people that we pull in our homeless programs. And then also if their VI-SPDAT goes down, we've got the pilot program for housing folks in our regular mainstream housing. This program will be featured in a white paper in the NARO Journal of Housing that I believe is coming out this month. They said it was going to press. This is from the NARO Homeless Task Force that I worked on. So we're pretty excited about it. There's 3 or 4 pages about our program, so we'll be watching for that. So this is our first 6-month statistics, and I think what's really exciting, if you look at the very last line on the front, just Sanford alone, or medical costs, have saved $1.3 million in 6 months for this many people. So it's pretty amazing that it's doing what it was meant to. The other partnership that we do with New Life and with all of the other shelters in town is our pilot program, where we take the lower VI-SPDAT scores, and we approved it back in 2015 and put it in the annual plan, that rather than go through the regular wait list, that we would use the HUD-approved VI-SPDAT CARES process and pull some of those lower numbers, like the 5s, 4s, 3s, 2s, 1s, that wouldn't have as many needs and could transition into regular public housing. The graver vouchers that wouldn't need so much assistance, that's called the rapid rehousing group that HUD classifies them as. And the board and RAB had certified to do at least 20% of our wait list off that. We've worked on it for 2 years. We're finally at that point. We did our first polls back in December and November, going in January, so we had our first big group. Rob ended up bringing a van. I think we had, what does it hold, 15?
It's a 15-passenger van.
Yeah, and then some people were walking.
and we had just fantastic success. So out of about 17 people that came over, about 17 were housed within the month, which typically off our regular time and date wait list, we can pull 100 and get 17. You know, so that it was really nice protocols, and working with them was amazing. And like I said, we had other shelters, but that was the big one. So I did invite Rob to come over and tell us a little bit about their facility and what the partnership has meant to them, because you're the folks that worked on it and approved it. So
Just one question in regard to this new life center, what you're doing. Is that something that is going to be also presented?
they have asked, yes, they've asked us to be the closing session.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Oh, the new life center, the respite program is its own session.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got a whole session on that, and then the other protocols that we do in this community are the closing session, the closing general session.
Okay, that's what.
Yeah, so, and it's in the new one now, Thomas, I just put out the colored one. Yes, yes. And we've been asked to present nationally also at either the NARO Summer Conference or the Fall Conference.
Yeah.
Nationally, so it's,
Great.
it's pretty exciting.
That's a big deal, that we're getting invited to present nationally on some of the things happening here. It really is a big deal. I'm going to pass around two different things. One is about our program, and then the other is our statistics for the year, if you just want to take one of each. Now, I brought enough for those at the table, I believe. I don't know that I brought a lot of extras. There are plenty of these statistics. The other ones, I think I only brought 13 of those.
And Rob is coming to our staff meeting too, so we'll get
Yep.
a chance to get
I've
it
got
in.
more stuff coming, so in I think 2 days. Anyway, I wanted to say thank you for inviting me over to actually just share a little bit about us as an organization and to really highlight the partnership that we have together. As an organization, and I'll just touch briefly on our history. I'm going to keep an eye on the watch here because I don't want to start yammering on too long. So our organization is 109 years old. We have been serving individuals who are homeless or in need in our current location since 1968. So we're on 3rd Avenue North, right next to the food bank, and in between the food bank and Cass Clay Creamery, if you know the landmarks. We shelter only men 18 and over. There are 3 no's for our organization: no alcohol, no drugs, no registered sex offenders. At this point, I would see at some point in the future that last one may change, just because of the increased need that we're seeing for housing some of those folks, sheltering some of those folks. So we provide shelter to men 18 and over. We have a meals program that's open to the public, and we also give away lots of different clothing and housewares pieces through our thrift store, through our voucher program. We have 88 emergency shelter beds and 26 transitional housing beds. Now, that being said, and I'll talk a little bit, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but to talk about the partnership and how that has changed in a very positive way, I believe. I've been the director there for 3 years. I've been with the organization for about 6. When I came on board, I recognized a number of things that needed to be updated, and one of them was our program. We had provided the basics of food, shelter, and clothing for a long time, but I also saw the need to provide deeper services, more case management services. So not long after I took over as the director in 2014, we started searching for a program director, and then we brought on some case managers, which we never had in the past. We had someone who was an advocate who would maybe make a few phone calls, but we never had case managers. And so it's a significant shift, and on the heels of that then came what you have, the colored brochure there. we never had a clearly defined program in the past. There were expectations as far as following the rules, but never length of stay requirements. And that's a two-sided brochure, what you've got there. I'll just briefly touch on when someone shows up, they would move right into what's called the Harbor Program. The name was chosen intentionally because if you're in a storm out on the open sea, you need to get into harbor and find a safe place to get out of the elements. That is a 30-day program. And in the past, like I said, we never had length of stay requirements in that regard. So we are still providing the basics during those 30 days, but it really is, and our goal and our desire is hopefully prepping those individuals to move into the passport program. And I'll talk about that in a second. Or into housing, if we can get them into housing that quick, but that doesn't happen all the time. So Harbor is an opportunity to help them get their feet under them. You need ID, let's start the ball rolling there. We often do start the ball rolling with a housing application. We do a VI SPDAT, so we do some of those initial low-level things. And we also have the conversation with these individuals. What are your goals? Do you want to work on some of the things that landed you here in the first place? Do you want to partner with us and hopefully help you in the long term? If the answer is no, you know what? I'm really happy just to have a place to lay my head. Perfect. We're going to love you, we're going to serve you, but you've got 30 days. During that 30-day time, we meet with our case manager at least 3 times, and initially it's that goals-oriented meeting. Then we start talking about passport. And around day 21, we ask them to make a determination because they're heading for that 30-day. Do you want to continue to stay here longer term? Passport program is a 17-month program, and so we basically are following the HUD guidelines of a total of 18 months.